So we're going to do a little bit of breath work to start with, so just making sure that you're super comfortable for that. So for today's practice, while it might feel like we're in the midst of winter and we've got really short days and it's really dark and cold and we're all locked in, by seasonal yoga calendar we're actually still in autumn, and I thought that given everything that's going on today's practice it would be really good to focus on an autumn practice. So you'll see with the trees and everything around us, this is the time of year where it really is beautiful to let things go. It's really nice to see all the trees letting go of these beautifully coloured leaves, like really, just showing the world how beautiful it is to let things go. And I think that for this year in particular, it is really important to let things go. There's a lot of fear and a lot of, I think, built up emotions as well. Usually, we've got everything going on, we're rushing about and we're doing things and getting on with things, and I think with this year we're not able to do that as much, but there's something to learn from that. So really bringing it back down, really bringing it into centre, bringing it into the present. So that is kind of what we're going to focus on today. So autumn's all about letting go. So so we're really going to focus on the breath. So when you think about it, the breath is inhaling and then you're sighing it all out, you're letting go of like that tension that we're holding on to. So yeah, that's what we're going to focus with today. So just grabbing a comfortable seated position. If you want, you can pop a block or a cushion underneath your sit bones. Give yourself a little bit of elevation. So just sitting underneath the sit bones to really just lengthen through the spine. So when we're sitting down, sometimes we can get this kind of like hunched back. We really want to be opening up through the chest, opening up through the centre, lengthening through the spine. And then just wherever you are, if you feel comfortable, we're going to close the eyes and we're just going to tune into the breath. So just noticing, first of all, just your natural breathing today. Is it a little bit fast? Is it a little bit slow? What's the depth like? Is it shallow? Are you breathing deeply? Where are you breathing from? Are you breathing up in the chest or down in the belly? Or both? And then slowly but gradually you're going to start to think about lengthening the breath. So with every inhale, maybe seeing if you can really lengthen the inhale, bringing a little bit more air into the body. And as you exhale, not letting it all flow out at once, but really exhaling in a controlled way, but trying to lengthen the breath as we do that. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. So this time I really want you to focus on bringing the inhale all the way down to the lower abdomen, all the way down into that core of your body. And as you inhale, feeling that lower abdomen rise. You can place a hand there if you like. Lengthening the breath all the way up, maybe feeling the whole torso expand. And then as you exhale, feeling everything just relax gently back in towards the navel, towards the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. So trying, if you can, as you breathe, to bring a little bit of awareness, a little bit of control to the breath. And just keep breathing as I'm talking you through it. Wherever you are throughout practice today, I want you to really focus on the breath. That's our intention for today's practice. And so if I'm giving you a cue to inhale and for you it feels better to exhale, I want you to really move with that. Do what feels good in your body. And without the breath, there wouldn't be practice, So really bringing awareness to the breath throughout practice, trying to stay with that breath as long as we can throughout, even the postures that are maybe a bit more challenging, like maybe some of the balancing postures. And then when you're ready, just gently opening the eyes, coming back into the room. So if you were sitting on a block or a cushion, just removing that from underneath the sit bones. And then we're just going to do some nice seated side extensions. So lengthening out through the right fingertips, extending them just a little way out towards the right side of the body and reaching up with the left hand. Just kind of bringing it over, like in line with the ears. So as you push down into the palm of the right hand, I want you to think about really rooting down with that left sit bone. So think of your grounded hand as like your anchor to kind of actively push into that to ground down through that sit bone. And then when you're ready, coming up to centre and switching sides, taking the right fingertips down this time, the left fingertips down, grounding down through the palm of the hand, spreading those fingertips nice and wide, reaching up with the opposite hand, really extending up and over. So grounding down in with that grounded hand, so really rooting into the opposite sit bones to anchor you down there. You don't want to be lifting up and doing this, you want to get a nice active stretch. Still keeping with the breath throughout every little movement. Coming back up to centre. We're just going to walk the fingertips all the way forwards. Just as far forward as feels comfortable. Lengthening up through the spine. And again, really spreading the fingertips nice and wide, grounding down through those sit bones so you don't rock forward too much. And then just bowing the head down. So maybe you're having a little bit more of a flexible day today, you can maybe think about lowering the head, lowering the elbows down towards the earth. Or you can actively lift the head, really lengthening through the spine, pushing through the fingertips. So whichever feels good in your body today, we're going to stick with that, okay? And when you're ready, walking the hands all the way back into centre. So this time, taking the fingertips behind us. So taking them back just a little way out behind you. Rolling the shoulder heads back, really arching through the spine. So you take this as deep or as shallow as feels comfortable for you. So really just being gentle, we're still warming up the body here, and it is a lot colder because we are creeping towards those winter months. So just holding here for a few breaths. It's a really good one if you're at a computer all day and hunching over. So we're, counter-interacting all of this sort of motion, really opening up through the chest. So if you like, from here you can roll onto the shin bones and lift the sit bones all the way up. And taking it a little bit further. You can take the head back if you like, but just making sure that the neck feels comfortable. So if you're going all the way back, take the tongue to the roof of the mouth, protect the neck, protect those muscles around the head. And then if you're all the way back, bring chin to chest gently, and then lowering the sit bones all the way down towards the earth. And then from here, rolling forward onto your shin bones, planting the palms of the hands nice and firm. So you want the wrists to be in line with the shoulders and knees in line with the hips. We're just going to come into some gentle cat-cow. So on an inhale, you're going to tuck the tailbone all the way up, dipping that belly button down towards the ground, looking straight ahead, keeping the elbows nice and soft. Now as you exhale, we're going to round through the spine, so starting at the tailbone, arching the back, really rounding it down, tucking the chin in towards the chest, pushing into the palms of the hands. Inhaling, reversing that movement, coming all the way forwards with the head. So the head should be the last thing to move, so it's like a Mexican wave in the body. Arching the spine, rolling forwards. Try to match the movement of your breath to the movement of your body. So again, bringing that awareness to the breath, making the breath as long as you can to get each, give yourself time to move through the postures. Rolling forwards. Arching the back. And then from here, coming to a nice neutral spine, we're going to do a little bit of thread the needle. So we're going to extend the right hand all the way up towards the ceiling, looking up towards that thumb there if it feels comfortable. And then we're going to post it through the gap created by our left arm and leg. And then we're going to extend it all the way up towards the ceiling. 2 more times, just like that, posting it all the way through the gap that we've created. And then lengthening all the way up, extending those fingertips up towards the ceiling. Last time, posting it all the way through. This time we're going to lower that left elbow down. We're going to take the arm down, the right arm coming all the way down, bringing that right ear towards the mat. So bending the knees and the arms as much as you need to kind of get here. You can prop yourself up with some cushions as well if that feels comfortable. Staying here for a breath or two. And then from here, pushing into the left palm of the hand, we're going to extend that right hand all the way up towards the ceiling again before we take it down to meet the left one. So we're going to do the exact same on the opposite side. So this time lengthening up through the left fingertips, reaching all the way up, reach, reach, reach. And then we're going to post that left arm between the gap created by our right arm and leg. Inhaling, extending it all the way up. Inhaling, taking it down. Last time, sending the left hand all the way up towards the sky, looking up towards the thumbs if it feels good. Then as you exhale, this time we're going to bring the back of the hand and the arm all the way down towards the mat. So bending that right elbow as much as you need to. And this time we're lengthening through, we're taking the left ear towards the mat. And again, if this doesn't feel accessible for you, you can use blocks to kind of prop yourself up, just give yourself whatever support you need, you know, what your body is asking for at this time. And then when you're ready, pushing into the right hand, extending the left hand all the way up towards the sky. And then bringing it down to meet the other one. So coming back to that nice neutral tabletop position that we were in. So from here, taking the big toes together, sending the hips all the way back, crawling the fingertips all the way forwards. So you can rest your forehead down towards the mat if that feels good. Or you can create a little pillow with your arms and rest your head on the back of your hands. Knowing that you can come to this posture whenever you're feeling a little bit tired or you're taking it a little bit easier. So just knowing that you can make this practice your own, taking what feels good for your body. Then from here, crawling the hands all the way forwards, coming back into that tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes under, coming into a nice downward facing dog. Just really pedaling through the feet here, so keeping it nice and gentle. This is our first downward dog of today's class. So bending into one heel and then sending the heel down towards the ground. Bending the opposite knee and sending the other heel down towards the ground. Coming up onto both toes. Then we're going to send both heels down towards the ground, and they might not reach the ground, it doesn't matter. As long as you're getting a nice little hamstring stretch there. I'd much rather you bend the knees and keep the back nice and long and protected. And then from here, taking the gaze forward, we're going to walk the feet in to meet the hands. So bending the knees, bending the arms as much as you need to get here. And then grabbing the crooks of the elbows, just swaying side to side. Keeping it nice and fluid. Maybe bending into one knee and then the other. And then dropping the arms, bending the knees, rolling all the way up to standing. So just taking your time getting here. Making sure you're nice and balanced. So from here, we're going to step out with the left leg. So facing the log edge of your mat. And if you don't have a mat, you're going to take the toes out. So pointing as if they were pointing to the corners, the far corners of each room. And then from here, we're going to take an inhale, bringing the palms of the hands to heart center. As you exhale, we're just going to send the knees out in line with the heels and the ankles. So coming into a nice horse stance. So you want a nice kind of like house shape, as if you're the chimney and your legs and the shin bones are the walls and the roof of the house. So we're going to hold here for a few breaths. So you'll really start to feel a little bit of spice, a little bit of fire working into these legs. And if you need to straighten them at any point, then feel free. We're going to come into a little bit of movement in a moment anyway. On your next inhale, we're going to straighten the legs, rolling all the way up. As you exhale, bending the knees, sinking all the way down. Inhaling, lengthening all the way up, coming to standing. Exhale, sinking down. So this time we're going to bring some arm movements into it. So as you inhale, we're coming all the way up. As you exhale, we're going to push the palms of the hands out front ways. So we're pushing them out as if we're pushing someone away ever so gently. Sinking down on the exhale. Inhale, we're going to bring that energy back in. This time taking the arms out towards the sides. Exhaling, pushing as if you're pushing into the walls. Exhaling, bringing it back in. Straightening those legs this time. Taking it all the way up. We're going to exhale, pushing the ceiling away. Sinking down towards the earth. Bringing the hands all the way back. Lengthening all the way up. So we're going to do that one more time each direction. So we're going to exhale, pushing the palms away in front of us. Inhale, bringing that energy back in. Exhaling, pushing the walls away. Lengthen through those arms. Inhale, bringing it back in, straightening those legs. Exhaling, pushing the ceiling all the way up. Inhaling, straightening the legs, bringing it back in. From here, just coming back to the top of your mat. Just bringing the thumbs in towards the sternum, in towards the heart centre. And really feeling how moving with the breath has affected your body. So maybe rocking a little bit, side to side, forwards and back. Just feeling your feet grounded down through the earth. Tuning into the breath, maybe closing the eyes, tuning into that internal centre. Seeing where you're at today. So from here, we're going to open the eyes, we're going to come into chair pose. So making sure the toes of the big feet are together. We're going to sink the hips down nice and low, and we're going to take the hands as if we're tickling the floor. Taking the hands all the way down, sinking into those heels as if we're sitting in an imaginary chair. And then extending the arms all the way up. So you can take the palms together above you. Hands out nice and wide, shoulder height apart, especially if you're feeling a little bit constricted in the shoulders, or bringing the palms of the hands to heart centre. So whichever works best for you. When I think about taking the weight back just a little bit in towards the heel of the foot, the heels of the feet. And watch out for overly tucking that tailbone out, sticking that butt out. We want to avoid this sort of thing. You want to think about tucking your tail feathers under, really bringing everything in, making it nice and controlled, engaging that core, lengthening the arms all the way up. So you will have a little bit of a tilt in the pelvis here, but you want to kind of stop overly compressing into that back, the lower back there. And then from here, bringing the hands down, we're going to straighten the legs. Folding all the way forwards, maybe bringing the fingertips down towards the mat. And then from here, inhaling, bringing the hands to shin, spine nice and long, looking straight ahead. And as you exhale, softening the knees, bending the knees as much as you need to get the palms of the hands flat on the floor. And then we're going to step back to a nice high plank. So from here, you're going to drop the knees, we're going to lower all the way down onto our belly. So just taking your time getting here. So you want to make sure that your elbows are hugging in close towards the body as you lower down, nice and controlled. And then once you're here, we're going to bring the palms of the hands forward a little bit, just in front of the shoulders. Pushing into the palms of the hands, we're going to inhale, coming into a nice cobra pose. So taking it as high or as low as feels comfortable. So if you are feeling any compression in the lower back, you want to lower it down a little bit, taking it nice and easy. Just doing what feels good in the body. So rolling those shoulder heads back. Lowering the torso all the way down. Taking the hands back so that they're underneath the shoulders. tucking through the toes, sending the sit bones all the way up towards the sky, coming into downward facing dog. And if downward dog isn't for you today, feel free to drop the knees and kind of come back to a nice easy child's pose. Just doing what feels comfortable in the body. So thinking about sending the heels down towards the ground, spreading the fingertips nice and wide. And then when you're ready, we're going to come to seated, so coming through with one knee followed by the other, or coming into a nice easy seated position, however is easiest for you. So from here, we're going to lengthen through the spine. We're going to do a little bit of forward fold. You want to make sure you're nice and grounded first, so toes are together, pointing up towards the ceiling, really flexing those feet, keeping the legs nice and active. You're going to take an inhale, lengthening the arms all the way up. As you exhale, sucking in that lower tummy, folding forward. So if your hamstrings are feeling really tight, like mine usually are, bending the knees a little bit to take the toes. And then maybe if you're feeling like you're opening up a little bit more, you can start to walk the heels forwards, maybe straightening the legs, or whatever you are. I want you to keep that nice length through the back of the body. So trying to avoid this sort of position. You want to bend the knees, taking the toes, lengthening up. And then maybe crawling the heels out, maybe not, just seeing where your body is comfortable, where it's going to go today, just exploring with kindness and curiosity. Making sure that you're tuning in with the breath. Releasing the toes, rolling all the way back up. Giving your toes a little window wipe side to side. And then from here we're going to spring the feet in towards each other. So bringing the soles of the feet in together to touch. So coming into Baddha Konasana. So depending on how you're feeling in the hips today, you might want to pop a block or two or a cushion. This is really nice with cushions, I have to say, underneath the thighs. So really just giving the knees a little bit of support. So any movement here shouldn't come from the knee, it should all come from the hips. Because that's how we stretch through the body. We can't stretch through the knees in this posture. So you want to keep the knees nice and safe. And again, if you're feeling that it's a little bit intense having the feet so close to you, push them a little bit away, opening up through the body, trying to keep that length in the spine. And then we're going to take the first two fingers, looping them around that big toe, lengthening up through the spine, grounding down through the sit bones. And then this might be enough for you. It can be a real challenge to stay upright here, really getting that length through the spine. If you want to take it a little bit further, we're going to fold forward, so trying to keep the spine nice and long. So you might go a little way forwards, or you might, if you're super duper flexible, you might get your chin onto the floor. I certainly am not there yet, so just being happy and comfortable wherever you're at. So bringing the elbows in towards the body. So sometimes you can put them on the calves and kind of encourage a little bit of opening up through the body, but try not to be too forceful with it. Just use the breath, I would say, to explore rather than actively forcing your knees down towards the ground. When we breathe in and then relax out, we can usually get a little bit of more space, a little bit more room to explore in a much kinder way. And all the way back up to centre. So we're going to keep that right foot in towards the groin. We're going to lengthen that left leg all the way out towards the side. So you might want to bring that right foot in just a little bit if it feels comfortable, if you're feeling balanced here. So you want to keep both sit bones on the ground. So making sure that you're nice and comfortable and keeping both toes flexed. So that left foot, the toes will be pointing up towards the ceiling, and that right foot will be nice and curled in towards the body. And then from here, we're going to lengthen up with the left arm. We're going to see if we can maybe grab the toes, and if the toes aren't accessible, grabbing the shin or the thigh, or reaching out towards the floor. So this can be really good to help us get a little bit of balance. And then when you're ready, we're going to reach all the way up and over with the right arm. So we're not really reaching towards the toes, we're kind of reaching up and away. So creating this nice gap through the shoulders, really creating some space in the upper body here. Just keeping the head nice and relaxed. And then coming back to centre, we're going to switch sides, doing the exact same thing on the opposite side. So just bringing that left leg in really nice and slow, making sure it's comfortable, and then extending the right leg all the way out. So again, you can curl that left foot in a little bit closer towards the groin if that feels comfortable for you today. And again, you can still keep a cushion under there, nice and supported underneath that left knee there. So just doing whatever is most comfortable for you. And then from here, we're going to lengthen down, seeing if we can maybe grab the toes with the right hand. So grabbing the right toes this time. And if the right toes aren't accessible, we can grab for the shin or the thigh, or again, I really do recommend having the fingertips on the floor just to give yourself a little bit more balance there. And then when you're ready, we're lengthening up and over with the left hand. So again, trying to create a nice little bit of space between the shoulders, so we're not coming all the way over like this and kind of collapsing into the shoulders, keeping it nice and lengthened and long, so really reaching out through those fingertips, rounding down through those left sit bones. So the more you reach over, you might find your little left sit bone starting to creep up here, so you want to think about anchoring it down, really pushing in to the sit bone on the left side there, not overextending too much. And then coming back to centre. So from here, bringing both feet towards the mat, pointing the knees towards the ceiling. We're going to roll all the way down towards our back, coming into a nice little back bend to finish. So bringing the heels in towards the sit bones, so maybe taking them a little bit wider than your hip. And then from here, planting the hands firmly on the ground, and you're going to curl up through the tailbone, so just taking it nice and soft. So you want to arch and tuck the tailbone as you come up. So inhaling to peel the spine up, all the way up off the mat. Maybe rolling up onto those shoulders. And tuning into the breath. So trying to lengthen the breath as we did at the start of class. See where the breath is now. Is it still, are we still breathing as deeply as we were? Maybe we're not, and that's okay. If we're doing a little bit of movement, usually we find that the breath can sneak away from us. So we gently want to bring it back. On your next exhale, gently lowering the torso down towards the mat. Taking your time getting here. Really rolling and relaxing down. And bringing the hands towards the torso, so just feeling the rib cage rise and fall on the inhalations and the exhalations. From here, you're going to lengthen the legs down towards each corner of your mat. You can keep the hands on the torso to really bring that awareness to the breath, or you can take them down alongside your body. So whatever feels most natural, most comfortable for you. Just coming into relaxation. So just using these final few moments lying down to really tune back into the breath, maybe using it as an opportunity to lengthen the breath. And knowing that whatever we're doing throughout our day, we can always come back to the breath, we can always come back to nice deep breathing. So just enjoying the body's contact with the floor, feeling grounded down, letting go of any tension. And just focusing on the breath. already starting to bring a little bit of movement back in towards the body, so maybe wriggling the fingers, the toes. As you're lying on the mat, maybe extending the hands all the way up and pointing the toes, really lengthening the body out, seeing how long you can make it. And then when you're ready, hugging both knees in towards the chest. And then placing the top hand down on the floor, rolling onto whichever side feels best, and gently and slowly making your way back up to your comfortable seated position. So whatever that is for you, just taking it nice and slow getting here. And then once you're here, taking the hands into prayer. Extending the arms all the way up nice and wide, looking all the way up towards the thumbs. Bringing the thumbs down on the crown of the head, between the eyebrows and third eye, and the heart centre. And then bowing it down towards the earth, so really reaching forwards. And then walking all the way back up. So I would say namaste. Thank you so much for coming to practice today. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments, or share it, or whatever you feel good, and drop me a wee message. It's always lovely hearing from you all. So yeah, so I will see you next time, and I hope that whatever you are and whatever you're doing, that you have a really beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.